That's all.
And I totally agree with that. Like, and even like the years that they didn't win, right? Like 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
KD goes down, Toronto wins. You know, like this could have easily been 8 out of 8. You know, we're not even having this conversation right now. So let's not take that away.
To be clear, KD got hurt that year, or otherwise most people think they would have beaten the Raptors. Why is Windy laughing, by the way? I'm distracted, Windy, out of the corner of my eye. Why is this funny to you?
I'm just imagining if LeBron was here right now and had a glass of wine in him, hearing this conversation, the things that he would say would be unbelievable. I mean, on one hand, I have to say, if Steph Curry wins the finals and the MVP, when you talk about a guy with 4 rings, 2 MVPs, and a finals MVP, you were talking about the uber elite in the history of the game. You're talking about Jordan, LeBron, Russell, stuff like that. Like, Steph would be one of like 5 guys who's ever done that. But LeBron James would laugh at the concept that they're being compared like this because he would compare.
No, we're not comparing.
We're not comparing.
We're not comparing. Don't take our word.
We are comparing him.
We're not comparing the player.
Are we not?
We're not comparing the player. We're comparing what they've done to win championships. We're not comparing the player.
With the 2 of their accomplishments side by side, I thought that was
we're not comparing the players. Let's get that correct for our viewers.
So tell me what we are, Pat.
The question
if we're not comparing them
in the conversation.
What are we doing? What are we doing if we're not comparing them?
We're first off, we're trying to start gossip right now. That's what we're trying to do, and we're trying to get viewers in. That's what we're trying to do. But we're comparing a 6'1" guy to a 6'9" guy. I mean, you start there. You can't even compare that to start off, you know. So again, the terminology of discredit, you can't discredit LeBron. So we're not discrediting LeBron, but we're just giving Steph Curry his flowers.
At all.
That's it. We're just giving Steph Curry his flowers.
Let me get VC in here. I have a few thoughts, but go ahead, Vince. Go.
Go ahead. No, I'm just saying we're not comparing. We're just saying we're acknowledging that Steph deserves to be in the conversation. It's not a comparison of who's better. Me personally, I'm not into comparing who's better. But the question was, do we think Steph deserves to be in that conversation with some of the elite with his resume and what he's done for the game since he's been in this league? And I think that's what we're talking about. And I think he does. He wins this MVP. That 0 turns to a 1. It's not comparing because at the end of the day, you could say 4 and 4, and LeBron has 4 MVPs. We're not comparing. We're just saying he deserves to be in that conversation.
To be clear, Windy, what I'm asking is, if LeBron James is universally considered to be the defining player of this generation, it's not about who's a greater player, but the definition of when we look back on this is the LeBron era of basketball. Is Steph Curry putting himself in a position where he could change that? I'm not comparing them as players. I'm comparing their accomplishments and their legacies. It's a reasonable question to me, Windy.
Steph Curry is one of the greatest players of all time. I would argue that he's one of the top 10, 12 greatest players of all time. I don't want to be pinned down on that, to have to fight on each one. All of those things are true. His resume is untouchable. I'm a humongous supporter and believer in Steph Curry, and this is the LeBron James era.
Fair enough. Maybe we could all agree Steph Curry is the best player of the LeBron James era. Okay, Steph Curry is the greatest player of the LeBron James era of professional basketball.
I think when you put it like that, I think you're still discrediting Steph Curry. I mean, he might play until he's 39, 40 years old, and I hope that he plays more. It's a chance that he still can win multiple championships still. Right. And that window for LeBron James is closing, obviously, if they make some trades and stuff on that side, but we're just giving Steph Curry his flowers. Right. If this is Windy and he was over here shooting all these threes and taking this team to the finals, we will give Windy his flowers. Correct. Windy will want his flowers. Right. That's all we're doing right now. Understood. We're not discrediting what LeBron James done for the game. Everyone knows what he's changed the game. We're just giving Steph Curry, we're just giving him his flowers.
Steph Curry, to some degree, has changed the game as well. All right, we're going to have more of this later, and Stephen. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.